Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Professor Abs. I'm so excited that you're having lunch with me. I want to make sure that you guys are doing well. I know that a lot of you are balancing life and work and you name it, kids and school all at the same time. I've been there. I've gone through it myself. I totally understand. I want to let you know that I am here for you, and I encourage you to reach out to me in a proactive sense. Not that I'm hearing about something that you're going through after an assignment's due, for example. Let me know before. I think that any employer is going to want to know that before that you're going to be late or you're not going to show up to work. If you give them a heads up, you're always going to be in a better position, and that's what I would like from you. Um, I want to thank you though for your perseverance and your grit. Those that have those characteristics are the ones that, for me, I like to hire because those are the ones that will grunt it out. And no matter how bad things get, they hang in there and they're leaders. They're the leaders that inspire the others to follow and follow towards that light and to get them out of those difficult situations. So thank you. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Continue doing it. Reach out to me. Let's get that. Let's get this degree. Let's get it together. Once you get it and you get out there and you start being, making great money and you're successful, that makes me feel good. That makes you feel good, right? And so do it, achieve it. You can do it. So let's talk about what's going on this week. I'm going to start sharing my screen here with you, and I'm going to do just a really quick review of some of these chapters that we have here. This week we have week 5 already, week 5, and we have. Let me see if I. Sorry, I don't know how not to make this thing stay here. There's this thing here. This drives me absolutely crazy. And I'm going to spend some time trying to figure out how I can make that thing go away. It only goes away after I don't mess with it for some time. I can't move it. Drives me nuts. So, and I really can't do anything until it stops thinking. Anyways, let's move forward. There we go. Always a will, there's a way. So we're in HM 120, which is the facilities management, property maintenance class. We are on chapter 8. And in chapter 8, we are talking about facilities management to operations management, which is the center core of what facilities management does. And this is a very important chapter because anytime that you work in a restaurant or a hotel and you're the general manager, you're going to have a facilities manager. And it's very important to understand what that facilities manager does because they know things you don't know. And you need to know a little bit about what they do. And that's the reason for this course. Some of you like, man, I don't really like this course because it's not really something that I'm passionate about. You're probably right. If you were passionate about this, you would probably become a facilities manager. But the fact of the matter is that you're going to be managing this key role, this key position that's going to be fixing and maintaining your building. And so for you to know a little bit about what they do is very, very important. Okay, so we're in this chapter, we're going to talk about explaining the correlation, the relationship between operational activities and facilities management activities. We're going to describe the conflict between fixed scheduling and facilities management requirements and the variable skills of operations management. So there's 6 learning objectives. Now, I'm not going to go through this and read this whole chapter to you, but I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to be more successful or internalize some of this, a lot of data that you have to go through and read. What I would do is I would write each one of these down on a pen and paper, of what you're going to learn in this chapter, and just focus on making sure you have the information written down for each one of these learning chapters, objectives. So for example, I would write number 1, explain the correlation between operations activities and facilities management activities. Now, let me just break that down and say, what does that mean? Well, I need to know, because my learning objective for number 1 is I need to be able to explain to somebody the correlation means a relationship. Now, if you don't know what correlation means, go ahead and Google it or go find it on ChatGTP. Find out what that word means, because it doesn't make sense to try to explain something to somebody if you don't know what you're trying to explain, right? So understand the words, the verbiage, by breaking it down. It's fine. Explain the relationship between operational activities. We know what operations is, right? That's when everything comes together, like in a restaurant. That's serving the food. That's the waiters running around. That's the chefs cooking the food. That's operations. And then you got facilities and facilities management activities. We know now what facilities management activities are. That's the fixing, that's the preventative maintenance, that's the tightening of the screws and everything. That's facilities. So all the maintenance of the building is happening at the same time that the operations is happening, right? And so we have to we have to explain the relationship, the correlation between that. And so how would I go about this? I would go to that section. And so to go to that section, uh, I would go to that header. So the header, which was really nice about this book, is that each one of those uh, learning objectives is actually stated in a heading. So the correlation of facilities and operations activities is a learning objective. So I already had the learning objective written out on my piece of paper. And now I'm going to read this and kind of internalize it and reflect upon it so I can translate it in my own mind, what the author who's written this wants me to learn from this particular correlation of facilities and operations activities. So you have to read this, put it in your mind, think about it, and translate it into your own thoughts. And how I do that, I read slow. And you have to be alone. You can't have the TV going on and the music playing and your phone going off and you looking at social media. Don't work. That's the reason why they have libraries that are very quiet. People need to concentrate in order to read, and that's how you have to study. When you read, you should be alone. You should have block out some time. You should be away from everybody. You should be like in a closet with a light on it. And it's just you and the book, and you're looking at this book, and as you're reading, you're thinking about what you're reading. You're not reading in your mind somewhere else, because then you're going to waste your time by thinking that you read something, but you don't even know what you read. So we have to read for understanding and comprehension. That's the reason why you will get better and strengthening your brain to understand facilities management or any other subject. I mean, that's kind of how it works. And the more that you use that and develop that skill and habit through discipline, you get better at it. Personally, I'm not one of those people that sits around and you see all these books in here. I haven't read all those books. I'm not a book reader. I read books for the value of the information I need to pull out and extract out of it, and I use it. I'm not a type of book reader that goes and buys a novel and sits down for hours and gets lost in a novel that has no value to me. It just is just fiction. So that's just me. I'm not putting down anybody that does do that. God bless them, because they have a gift that I don't have. They enjoy reading. I don't really enjoy it, but I'm good at it. And that's what you got to be. You might not like it, you might not enjoy it, but you have to get good at it. And one of the things to trick your mind in getting good at it is say that you love it. It's just a trick of the trade. If you have a negative attitude towards reading, you're never going to sit down and put the time it's going to take to actually read. So you have to find a way to make it fun and exciting, and you get fulfillment out of it, because you really do, but it just takes work. And so having that habit and strengthening that habit by working hard towards changing the way that you think is going to be really, that's kind of the premise of college, really. College is not going to make you a genius. What college does is actually develop your mind in a way that you can critically think about things and find solutions. That's what employers want. They don't want to have to give you the solution. They want you to be able to find it yourself. And so college is able to give you varying perspectives on how to do that. It's not that you're going to remember this 10 years, 20 years from now. It's going to be the process that you've gone through to learn it that's going to help you. So that's where college really has its main value. If you don't put the work in and I give you an A and pass you the class, when you get in the workforce, you're going to fail. And it's kind of like these guys that are, it's a short-term fix to get something for, and you didn't really earn it, right? Um, Examples and analogies of that would be like bodybuilders that use steroids. Yeah, they get really big, they get buff, and they might win a trophy, and they might even be an actor. But in the long term, their health is deteriorating, and they really weren't stronger. They just look better because they decided to go an easy route. The easy route always has, you have to pay somewhere, and usually you have to pay in the back end there. Put the work and pay up front, and you're going to be more you're going to be happier and more successful for the long term by developing these habits. Okay, so you already took the first step by signing up for college and taking this class, and so let's continue building that by hitting those learning objectives. Every week you have learning objectives for each of those chapters. There's usually 2 chapters per week. Write those down, read about them. So the correlation, we got to read this. So the facilities manager must ensure that the structure and systems under his control provide a profitable environment for revenue producing operations of the occupants. Look, we're in business to make money. We can't make money unless we operate. Our operations is what is bringing in the revenue. They cannot operate without having the structure to operate, which is their tool. We're responsible as a facilities manager to make sure that tool is operating the best we can. I wanted to do that because I wanted to see how I think when I read. Okay. He or she must also maintain the condition of the building to the highest possible level. Makes sense. Usually these responsibilities go very well together. Occasionally, however, the required maintenance interferes with operational activities, and at times, scheduled work must be adjusted or delayed to support revenue production. For example, the kitchen has to make the food. The chefs have to use the kitchen to make food. We're open for breakfast and lunch. I can't go in there and start pulling out refrigerators and turning off ovens to go fix things if they need to use those tools in order for us to operate and make revenue, because the guest will not come back when we upset them because they're waiting for us, because they're waiting for me to fix something. Okay, it makes sense. So there's going to be a conflict with our schedules. I want to do it. I want to get it done and move on to the next thing, but I can't because I have to work around the schedule of operations. That's what that is saying. Okay. At other times, revenue producing activities must be reduced or shut down so that necessary maintenance tasks must be completed to extend revenue or to prevent more serious future service interruptions for the occupants. The two sides are related, correlated, because one does not exist without the other. Revenue producing operations are not possible unless the facility is maintained, and there's no need to maintain the facilities if revenue producing activities cannot occur. So do you see how we're connected? Right? So that's right there, that sentence I would write down. Oh, I understand how we're connected now. We really cannot make money and serve our guests without the tools. And if the tools are not maintained, so we need to work together on this as a facilities manager to make sure that we're working around the schedules and putting substitutions in place, maybe substituting. If I need to work on a refrigerator, I rent a refrigerator and I put a refrigerator there so they can use the refrigerator where I repair ours, and then I return that other one. Whatever the solution is to make sure that we're out of the way and that they have the tools that they need to operate to serve the customer. So that's the relationship, right? And so I would continue reading about that and take my notes. Then I would go to, oh, this must be the second one. Is this maintenance schedules versus operational schedules? Was that number 2? Let's take a look. I wrote number 2. Describe the conflict between fixed schedules of facilities management requirements and the variable schedules. Okay, let's see. Maintenance schedule, yes. So we're talking about schedules. I would do the same thing. I have it written down. I would go back and I would start reading this for understanding. Even if you think that people see you reading and they think you're crazy, that's okay, as long as you're learning and you're understanding what you're reading. So I'll give you one more example. So how I would do is I would write this down and I would go and read this. To properly maintain the property, the facilities manager must establish a maintenance management system. See chapter 6. So what I would do is I go back to chapter 6 if I didn't know what that is. We should know what a maintenance management system is already, right? Because we've already done our work up to this point. If not, we have to go back and refresh and see what the heck that's all about, right? And then one of the elements that this system is the facilities work schedule. Okay, work schedules tell us when people come to work, right? We have to coordinate that. We have to strategize with that, right? We have to look at what hours we need people, how many people, how much do they get paid? Because I have a budget and I got to make sure that there's a certain amount of hours that are there and that I don't exceed budget. So there's a lot of different pieces to this puzzle. The tasks on the schedule are usually repetitive in nature and are most effective if they are completed within a consistent time frame. For example, daily tasks must be completed every day. Weekly tasks must be every week, etc. So what they're saying is that, hey, when you put a maintenance schedule together, you need to take in consideration what needs to be done. Some things need to be done daily. Some things need to be done weekly, yearly, whatever. So that's, you see, just out of that one paragraph there, what I got out of that. So you're basically squeezing everything that you're getting while you're reading this to yourself and writing it down. Take your notes as you go, because I guarantee you, if you're taking it slow in solitude with yourself, talking like a crazy person to yourself as you learn it, you're going to internalize it and you're going to actually know it much, much better than if you're reading with the TV on and music playing and people coming in and out of the door and your phone's ringing and you're looking at your social media and then getting back there. You're wasting your time. Don't even do it. To do it, you have to schedule your time and make sure that you're putting in brain power into this, focus into this with writing and reflection. That's how you read. Okay. So right now it's about 11:40. I just wanted to just give you a really quick tip on how I would study and how I would read this. It will be much easier to internalize it. Not only that you're gaining value for yourself to help yourself in your career, but just for the short term of just getting to do well on your assignments and your tests. But the bigger picture is more important to me, right? So that you're getting this, you're going to school for a reason. You paying money for a reason. You're putting time out of your life to get this degree for a reason. So you can use this knowledge in your career and be more valuable so you can make more money. If you go through school and you don't put in the work, you just wasted your time and your money. Put in the work, do the work, learn. And if you're having a hard time learning, I'm here. I'm the coach. Come to Coach Gary. They used to call me that at Dallas College. Come to Coach Gary. Coach Gary will get you on the path. We will work out together and we'll make sure that you're going to be successful when you get out there in that workforce and that you become whatever you want to become, a general manager of a hotel, front desk director, whatever, valet parking, working at a stadium, working at a theme park, whatever it might be, cruise line. I want you to be successful. So I will let you guys go. Please make sure that you're doing your interactions today. You have your initial post due today. And then we're going to be interacting with 2 different students, classmates throughout the week with that discussion posts. And then you have your assignment. And I believe you have a quiz in one or the other class. And again, if you have any questions or need some help, I'm here. I will take late work, so please go back. Some of you are doing great. Some of you are really behind, and I want to make sure that you are using the time that I'm graciously giving you. A lot of instructors just stop it and you don't even have an opportunity. I'm giving you this opportunity. Please take advantage of it, and please do your late assignments and turn them in. All right, Professor Abs signing off. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.